Hey, buddy.
Hey, or am I supposed to say yo broski?
No, you can say whatever you want.
Hey, shitbag.
There you go. Perfect. How's it going, bud? It's been a minute. I'm glad
It's
you're
been
back.
I doing all right today. So figured to jump on and see what you were up to.
Excellent. Same old shit. Watched a bunch of shit. Read something this time around, actually. And still got to know games. My system probably has not even been hooked to a TV since we last talked.
Collecting dust.
So it's just hours and hours stacking up of games I own and still have to put some time into. So you'll hear none of that out of me today. But
I can talk about some games. Do a little
perfect.
gameplays update because it's all Well, actually, some of it's not super.
Excellent. We will. I'm there's news, but this is not live, but right now San Diego Comic-Con's going on, but it's just the start of it, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot more news this weekend. So we're not going to touch on that. We've enjoyed plenty of things, so we're just going to, talk about that.
The only thing news wise I think I really know is they released the new Disney Plus bundle that includes Max.
Yes.
It's out now.
Yeah, I was wrong about it.
I don't think they remember that. You could probably just let that slide under the.
No. It's fine. I'll admit to it.
So like I said, the ad tier I think is $16.99, and the ultimate tier with no ads I think it's like $24.99. I can't remember, but obviously more because no ads.
Right.
But
not bad.
I don't get to take advantage of this because I'm all paid up on Max till next year, and
oh really?
Yeah, after that, because I already have the Disney Hulu bundle. After that, I'll switch and probably get all three under the same roof.
Yeah.
So when I switched to the Disney Hulu bundle, the way you access Hulu, for some reason I can't get it to just go through the actual Hulu app. I have to do it under the Disney Plus Hulu tab, and it's a little different. It's weird seeing like certain stuff on there.
I logged on to Disney Plus, and then all of a sudden, all this stuff pops up. I'm like, why is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia on Disney Plus? Like, it's weird seeing that stuff. I kind of like
it. It's even be worse. Like you can have like Game of Thrones on Disney Plus.
I kind of like the separation myself, but I don't know. It's also not the easiest to navigate. Like,
that's what I mean. It's like
most of the time I'm just I have to go to the search bar because it's just random things. Like, I don't know. I like the way Netflix is set up. I think some of these other ones just try. You don't have to be different. If somebody's doing something a good way, you can emulate it so that it's just easier.
I don't mind how they're all set up. It's just when they're bundled together, the setup, like, I don't know, like when I'm on Disney Plus, I feel like it's harder to find Hulu stuff. Though that's getting a little better now, but
yeah,
I mean, you know what they're doing. They're gonna get us all under one big. They're bringing cable back.
Cable internet, yeah, internet cable.
Get us all under this nice little one.
Now we're gonna combine. Now we're gonna combine. Here, you $100 a month, but you have them all. All right, so cable. Except watch on. Oh, I guess cable did have on demand.
Honestly,
well.
I kind of miss cable. I know it sounds weird, but I kind of miss having to watch whatever the fuck was on. Like sometimes I feel like I have too many choices and I can't. Like, what do I want to watch? Back in the day, we didn't have that problem. We watched because this is on. I'm gonna watch this.
It's tough. At the hotel room I'm staying in right now. Just cable. That's what you get. And HBO.
Yeah.
And last night it was rough.
Yeah, but you got your phone. You can watch whatever you want on that.
Yeah, on your phone. Exactly. But I have this giant TV, and I end up laying in bed watching a phone screen. To where some of these places have the apps on the TV, and you can log into yours and all that. So I don't miss cable, and I have cable at home. I've had cable at home since I moved to Florida 2.5 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't handful of times in 2.5 years has it been on, and it's probably just football. Other than that,
Well, you got to think
apps.
back when it was, in its prime is what I mean. Not
Oh yeah,
obviously now it's news and sports probably, but
right.
back in the day, you had your certain channels and the time slots. If you missed something, you just fucking missed it.
Yeah. Aggravating. Not just be like, oh, I missed it last night. Oh, here it is. Click. Good to go. Without commercials. Ad free. In fact, I told my wife she could watch something the other night. Oh, she's watching All American or something like that. And I was like, I think this is on regular TV before it comes to Netflix. I said, so you can watch it way before right now if you just go over on I think we have Spectrum, Xfinity? No, Spectrum. And she goes, with ads? And I was like, yeah. She goes, ugh, no. I'll wait for it to hit Netflix. I'll wait for Netflix. All right. Well, anyway, I went to the movies. We went to the movies, or at least we watched the movies. So I finally made it to the movies a week ago and watched Bad Boys Ride or Die.
Oh yeah? What did you think?
I had a great time with it. I really like these movies a lot.
And like I said, I think for me, the misstep was I didn't see on the big screen. It's definitely a big screen movie.
Yeah. I think Martin Lawrence is a gem. I love that guy. He's hilarious in this. The stuff between him and his son-in-law, absolutely hilarious. Loved every second of it. So this is just that. I think this just combines action and comedy in the perfect blend. And I love all these movies so much that I forget by the time the next one comes out, because there's so much time in between these damn movies, how much I enjoy them. So I start seeing the ads. I'm like, yeah, I'll see it eventually. And then I go and see it, and I'm like, oh, why'd I wait so long? It's such a fun time at the movies, which I love having. So, Bad Boys Ride or Die, huge recommendation for me. I'm giving it a good old 3.5 stars on the Josh scale, and had a great time with it. And Jay talked about it last time, and he agreed with me. So,
like I said, they didn't reinvent the wheel. They have a formula. They stuck to it.
Absolutely. Some of the same exact shots. They make sure they get in with the slow camera turn around the guys, and the Martin Lawrence eating too much. Well, got to watch his cholesterol. Blah blah blah. Plays into this movie as well. I think
he kind of stole the show, in my opinion.
100%.
Like in the other ones, it's kind of they're kind of equally balanced because they're both doing stuff. I definitely think Martin Lawrence was out front in this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
fully agree.
Super relatable with the getting older stuff.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. He definitely stole it in my book too. He had me cracking up. So
the candy scene was ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, him and his snacks. Hilarious. Go and see it. Other than that, I finally watched a movie at home I've been wanting to watch for a while, and I didn't know where to watch it. And I turned on, I think, Tubi. I know we talked about all these other apps and crap that we pay for, but Tubi has some good shit on there, and
I love Tubi.
is free. So I went over there and I watched Wrong Reasons. And this has stuck out to me because it's written and directed by Josh Roush, who does a lot of audio work for Kevin Smith. So we hear his name all the time. He's gone on tour with him. I've probably met him and I don't even realize it. But they've talked about this movie for over a year now that he made. And I found it there on Tubi. And basically it's a woman who is a pop star, rock star, pop star, and she gets kidnapped by a guy. That's your basic setup for this movie. And people trying to find her. She's famous. And then her interactions with her kidnapper as well. It doesn't go the way you think it will. Like there's some originality to this, let's say, as far as a good old kidnapping movie. Very low budget, very indie movie, let's say. I don't know if it's low budget, but very indie. And it's a good time. I give it 3 stars. I don't want to get too much into it, but there's a cool relationship between this girl and her kidnapper while these other people are trying to find her. And it's a good time. It's a good little indie film. Wrong Reasons. You can check it out for free over on Tubi. So I do it.
Would you consider that like a thriller or?
Not really. I just consider it like a drama.
Drama? Okay.
Basically. Maybe a little thriller, but not much. I consider it mostly drama. I think. Then I asked you to watch over on Netflix Godzilla -1. So,
are you curious to know what you think about it? Because I know you're not a big fan of kaiju
at all.
So
at all. This is probably my favorite Godzilla movie I've ever watched.
Okay.
No lie.
Godzilla movies have you watched?
Quite a few.
Okay.
But this might be my first actual Japanese Godzilla movie. Okay. I've watched all the Americanized Godzilla movies from Matthew Broderick to all those other. Who else was in them? I don't know. Breaking Bad guy was in one, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Girl from Stranger Things, I think, was in one. Might be the same one. But there's been quite a few, and quite a few Godzilla vs. Kongs. We talked about one of them on the last episode. There was one before that. So I've watched a lot. Okay. This is my favorite. And it's because Godzilla is a monster in this movie.
Well, he's always been a monster.
Give me a break. He's not a believable monster in these movies.
He's not the good guy.
He's not the good guy helping out your your human characters that you care more about because they're all stars. And he's also just, I don't know, like Godzilla, even the Matthew Broderick one, I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like this one, it seemed like this is a monster. There's nothing you can do about it. He is going to destroy everything. It was just awesome.
It's definitely an unstoppable force. And, the human condition and trying to deal with that force. I really like the character arc of the main character in that.
Yeah.
What really brought me around on this movie, it reminds me of, well, the whole movie kind of reminds me of, it's original Godzilla rebooted. It's a modern day telling of an old story. But
Right.
I've watched quite a bit of Japanese cinema, and it just kind of reminds me, like even his friends, you got the goofy one, you got the serious one, and they all have their parts to play and everything. But
Right.
I mean, I don't know how much this movie's been out for a while, so we can
Yeah.
kind of get
Quite a
into it.
while.
The fact that he was too afraid to do what he was supposed to do. And
Right.
then at the end, now
As
that
a
he has something to care about.
Kamikaze pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he has something to care about. And now he's willing to give
To
his life
do
to that.
right.
It's it's heroism at its best.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I really dug his character arc as well. And you're with him for a while. Like this spans a good number of years.
Yeah, because they go through this whole, they're kind of displaced people from this, the war,
Right.
Because this takes place post World War II, and so they're still trying to, the citizens are still trying to revive from that, and then Godzilla decides to show up and fuck shit up.
Here he is. Well, again, to our main character, but first time viewing for some of these other people that he's surrounded himself with after the war.
I know. I like him, just a legend, kind of like, but he's like, no, I've seen it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I had a great time with this. Over on Netflix, check it out. I give this 3.5 stars, which is more than you'll ever get out of me for a Godzilla or any giant creature movie.
It's funny. Some of the critics on this, they dug at the special effects. They wanted more out of it. I was like, what more did you really need?
No, that's what I liked. I loved them.
I mean, yeah, they're not like blockbuster. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they are up there with that too. But I'm just saying.
No, this is a much lower budget than anything Americans are.
Well, yeah, there's that
coming out
with him charging up his his heat blast.
Yeah.
Or heat ray, whatever they call it.
Right.
I thought. I guess I'm used to more simplistic movies.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I thought it was fitting. It didn't feel like some movies you watch. It's like, the movie was like, but the special effects were pretty cool.
Right.
I think the level of graphics, effects, and stuff like that,
work
went well hand in hand with the type of movie it was.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Epic.
Did you see any other movies?
No, I lately, to be honest, whenever we sit down, like me and my kids sit down and watch a movie or something like that, or a TV, I should say, it's like, what do you want to watch? It's like we never want to commit to the movie.
Yeah,
we'll sit down and watch like 80 episodes of a show. So,
I get
it's from here. It's all TV for me.
Okay.
TV, video games.
I got one other one we can discuss. I headed back to the movie theater, and I saw Maxxxine with 3 X's. So I have covered both of the other movies on this podcast already. It's our first trilogy that has spanned the movie theater since we started this podcast. Crazy. It started with X, and then went into Pearl, and now Maxxxine. So X was the first one. Talked about that. Kids go to this old farmhouse area to shoot a porno. Murders start happening. Then we go back to Pearl, a prequel. And there's an old lady in X, and this was her growing up. And that was Pearl. And now we have Maxxxine, and that's actually a sequel to X. So They all came out of order, but this one actually would be the last one of the even in order. And this is the girl from X that survived as a porn star she gets her first big break into real movie, Hollywood horror movie.
All right.
But there's somebody stalking her and has video of the porn they're shooting in X and says, I know what really happened out here. I'm going to expose you. And harassing her. And she's just starting to get her first big break. She's also, I would say, a little mentally unstable. So, yeah, it follows her as this stuff happens to her and trying to figure out who this person is that has this stuff on her, why they're doing this to her. So this one's kind of a mystery thriller, which is cool because you have a trilogy of movies that all go together, and yet none of the movies are like another one.
All right.
Like X was like a horror comedy, and then Pearl was like a thriller horror, and now this one's like a thriller.
Just based off you just saying that, I mean, I don't really know much about these. I already feel like this one would probably be the one I'd like the most.
I think I like this one second. I think I liked Pearl the most. I think this was my second most.
Well, you're the whole.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, some deaths start happening in this one of people who are her friends. So people start dying around her in this as well. But I wouldn't put it in the horror kit. Yeah, it's definitely more of a thriller.
That's what I mean. That's why I like it better.
Yeah.
Not that I dislike horror. It's not usually the first thing I grab.
Right.
Or something.
Well, that's why I decided not to discuss a lot of horror on this one. Because I have some to talk about. But that'll be a later date.
Yeah, I'm probably the wrong guy to talk about it.
But yeah, this one definitely ends up more in the thriller camp. And I had a really good time with it. Really good time at the movies. I give it 3 stars. Right down the middle. Well, 3 stars is like I don't know, B-ish, B-, whatever that would be. To where I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed Pearl more, but this was a good time. This was a fun thriller set in like the 80s, which is always cool too.
All right, yeah. Now, for people who've never seen any of these movies, if they wanted to watch, would you suggest watching them in the order that they were released, or the order chronologically, or could you just jump into each film without really needing the other ones?
I think you could jump into each film without needing the other ones. This one leans a little bit on X because it is obviously, hey, I know what happened out there.
Right.
But I think it also shows enough clips backtracking. It shows enough clips from X about what happened that you might not even need X. But if anything, it would be X and then this one. You really wouldn't need Pearl. Pearl would stand on its own.
Okay.
Yeah. And if I was going to do all 3, I would do it the way that they released it. Because I think it's more fun seeing the old lady in X and finding out about her in X. I think that's a big plot point of that movie, is finding out about this old lady and then going back in time and seeing her stories. I think if you saw her story, then went into X, you're just like, oh, we already know who this is.
You know too much already.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I think the way they released it was smart.
And the first one was a horror comedy?
X definitely horror
Yeah.
comedy, because I think that's
Like,
why I didn't like that movie when I went and saw it in the theater.
No.
I have a bad review of that movie on Hey Buddy, and it's because I went in expecting a straight up horror,
mhm.
and then I was like, why is this goofy? Like
I like horror comedy. Like
I do too, but I wasn't expecting that going in.
I know what you mean
So-
when you are thinking that you're going to go
Yeah.
to a really cool, like scary movie, or you
So I
know,
was like,
even
this
if
is-
it wasn't a
this
horror
is-
movie, like and
Right.
it's like, oh, it's a joke.
Yeah. I'm like, this
It's
is
the same way I felt
this
about
is kinda
Tenacious D
goofy
the
and
first time I saw
stupid.
Wonder Boy. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, what's this? Oh, they're a joke band. Shit. But not, I love them, you know?
Right.
Jack
Right.
Black's great. But, no, I know what you mean.
Yep.
What was I gonna say? No, but I like horror comedy, you know, like Evil Dead and
Yeah.
what's that one? Shit.
Horror comedies? There's a ton of them.
No, there's a great one. It's like my favorite one. Where
Is it my favorite one?
the guy
Tucker
and his
and Dale
brother
versus
go up
Evil?
to their yeah, Dale
Tucker and Dale
versus
versus.
That's the best.
It's the greatest.
You ever seen the other the one where it's from the college kid's point of view?
No.
Oh, there's like a special feature where you get to
Oh,
see
really?
certain scenes from their point of view and why they thought these guys were creepy killers.
Oh, no
And
kidding.
it's fantastic.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff I'm
Yeah.
in 100% for.
Right. I gotcha. Yeah, actually, not as funny and goofy as those, but definitely just where I was like, why is this like goofy? Isn't this supposed to be a horror movie?
I even find most, slasher movies to be kind of like,
Oh,
I like, Jason's,
absolutely.
they're
Absolutely.
funny too.
But this
in a
took it
different
one
way.
step too far. But not too far, because hey, I went and saw 2 sequels of this movie I said I didn't like. So he got my money 3 times. So whatever.
Because it was centered about the horror movie.
So yeah, that was my trip to the movies.
Nice. These.
Moving on, we saw some shows. The big one.
Yeah.
Let's jump right into it.
You're right into it.
The Acolyte. I
Yeah.
want to know your thoughts on The Acolyte over on Disney Plus, the old Star Wars story.
Overall, I'm going to come right out and say that I really enjoyed The Acolyte. I don't know why people are shitting on it so much. I think we live in a world where it's easier to hate things than it is easier to like things. But
Agreed.
there definitely were some things that I was kind of like bummed about. Like, it did my boy's soul dirty. I was a little let down because the last time we talked, I was like, he's Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah. He's gonna
Qui-Gon.
fuck up the whole empire by himself. You watch, he's the best.
Even though I was disappointed in that, as a show point, I think that was what they wanted you. I think they wanted you to see this great Jedi that you had all these belief in, and then kind of see how in one moment, one choice, everything can kind of turn. And they do kind of focus on soul, even though I think there's a lot of other people that had their hands in making this what it was. But I mean, definitely certain things were super predictable. Like, I kind of knew certain things from jump were gonna probably, like, I knew roughly how it was gonna end. I just didn't know which girl it was gonna be. And then out of all of it, I love the stranger. I want more of him.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
The stranger. Is that the dude from
It's that show that he was the
The
goofy
Good
guy.
Place?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, him.
he was my favorite character on the Good Place, and yeah, couldn't believe how goofy he could be on that. Like I never thought I'd take this guy seriously because of how funny he is on that damn show, and then here he is, badass as anybody in the galaxy. Uh, very cool.
Yeah, definitely want
I
more of him.
I loved this show. I asterisk. I've always enjoyed Star Wars. I'm not even the biggest Star Wars guy, but I've always enjoyed Star Wars. I didn't finish Ahsoka. I didn't,
No,
I didn't finish Mandalorian season 3. I didn't like. I don't watch it all. I it all doesn't grab me, and this is one of my favorite TV shows they've had in the Star Wars universe so far. But that's a guy who's, not a Star Wars junkie, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about from an outsider's point of view.
I
This
don't
held
think you're
my
wrong.
this held my interest. I love seeing a different side of things of oh, maybe the Jedi's are, maybe your space cops, shouldn't be telling the entire galaxy what to do. Maybe this guy's got a point. And I love a villain that has a point, that has an argument in his head that you're like, I can kind of see where he's coming from on this. And that's why everybody loved Thanos. Like, he didn't see himself as evil. He saw himself as, this is what I got to do because this is necessary.
Right.
That's what I love. That makes a great villain to me. And I thought the one in this was awesome. I thought the girl, your main protagonist / antagonist, because she played both characters, she was fantastic in this.
Yeah, I thought she did a great job. I mean, it's hard to play two characters in a show, and
Yeah.
I think she pulled it off.
Yeah,
Where they feel like two different people.
Exactly. We got to see a witch coven. We got to see some new shit, and we still got a cool ton of aliens, and that's all I want out of my Star
cool
Wars,
ships.
Man. Yes, cool ships, cool weird looking aliens,
Lightsaber fights.
And lightsaber fights. Show me some, and I had a great time.
Also, I think my favorite thing about the style is they stayed true to not true, I should say, but they stayed in the theme of samurai cinema, where the choreography and the fighting is that what you would get in they're space samurai versus space ninja in a sense, or Ronin, and the combat style was very martial arts kung fu flick.
Yeah, which is very cool
for Star Wars, in a Star Wars term.
Right.
But I liked how they stayed true to that all the way to the end. Yeah. I mean, if you watch that fight, I mean, at the end with Soul, I mean, Soul might not have been the best Jedi.
You are hurt.
Motherfucker can whip around a lightsaber though.
I love seeing the lightsaber and then the dagger that comes out the end. So now we got long sword, short sword going on here. I love seeing the different types of lightsabers.
Well, that's very Ronin in itself, that he has a hidden blade within his blade.
Right.
Or very ninja itself, And there's a name for that, and I'm not going to sit here trying to remember it because I'll look like a fool. But, I mean, and I think where the critics really, Star Wars is a hard universe to be in. I've gotten to the point where I accept that Star Wars, it's never going to be the original trilogy ever again, because it's so much more expanded now, and there's new stories, and things are going to shift, and I'm not necessarily going to love 100% of it, but I'm here for 100% of it because I love Star Wars. And I think where
Right.
the critics come in is you get these fans and they get so hell bent on what they believe to be fact or true or low, what their idea of, and then it changes. Like, oh, how can you bleed a kyber crystal? Well, they've done it before. You've never seen it, or they just get hung up on these little details and try to rip it apart. Because, like I said, you know, it's easier to hate, and within Star Wars, especially, there's the original trilogy guys. They hate the Phantom Menace trilogy, but now that's okay because now we can hate the
now we're
Daisy
coming
Ridley
around to that.
trilogy.
Right.
Okay, and after that, that'll be okay, but now we're going to hate something else.
Yeah.
Let's all band together and hate on. And I think the Acolyte, out of all the Star Wars TV shows, is not at the bottom of the barrel by any means. I think it's up there.
The thing is also, Star Wars fans, we've had a lot of Star Wars content now.
Oh,
we've had 9 movies. We've had a shit ton of TV shows. So if you still only like 3 movies, you don't even like half of Star Wars content. So are you really a Star Wars fan? I don't think so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's expanded now. Like
you're down to 15% of Star Wars you actually like. I wouldn't call that a Star Wars fan. I'd call that a guy who likes a couple movies.
Very true. Very true. But yeah, big thumbs up from me.
Hell yeah. Me too. I gave it it's an ongoing theme tonight, 3.5 stars. So why don't you tell us about that other television show that you started watching or finished? I don't even know if you watched the whole season.
I did. Out of the blue, I came across a TV show called Shorsey. And I knew that Shorsey was a part of the Letterkenny world, but I didn't really know anything about it. And then when I looked into it, I saw that it was a TV show centered around hockey. And out of all the sports, well, I'm not a big sports guy, but I used to watch a little hockey. I seem to like hockey movies, like The Goon. I love Goon and even Slapshots back in 1977.
Both Goons.
They're great movies. So I figured, why the fuck not? I'll take a shot. Jared Kiso is the stars in it, and he created Letterkenny too, and he plays the same character in both. His character Shorsey in Letterkenny leaves Letterkenny to go to Sudbury to join a AAA.
Letterkenny is also hockey?
No, it's just there's hockey players in.
Gotcha.
Because it's Canadian, so everybody. No.
Oh, of course. Why didn't you lead with that? Of course.
It is a Canadian television comedy show, and I think that's part of its charm and appeal is all the Canadian slang that they use. Because Kiso's character Shorsey, he's a shit talker. He's a dirty hockey player, and he talks a lot of shit. And he just rambles on and will, talks these people down until they want to fight. And it's hilarious. But yeah, he leaves Letterkenny to go to Sudbury to join a AAA hockey team. It's the way they talk about it, it's like, bottom of the barrel where hockey players come to die kind of thing. It's only like 14.
Gotcha.
And the team's on a 20 straight losing streak. And
oh boy.
The GM's gonna, fold or, shut down the team, disband the team. But Shorsey makes a deal or a bet with the GM and says, what if I can promise you we'll never lose again? Let me make some changes, and if we lose, then we'll fold. But if not, let's see how far we can take this. And that's kind of how the show starts off like that. And he gets some of his, not necessarily his buddies, but players he knows that will make this team a stronger team, and make some management changes, and on goes the show. And then from there, it's your typical hockey, what you expect from a hockey show or movie. It's all in there. Like I said, part of its charm is the whole Canadian vernacular that is, quote unquote foreign to me. I'm starting to find that I like a lot of Canadian comedy shows. Like, I love Trailer Park Boys. I mean, this is not nearly the same kind of thing, but just the fact that it's all Canadian comedy. There's 3 seasons of Shorsey, and I watched all 3. I won't get into it too much.
Oh, so this isn't brand new.
No.
There's 3 seasons. Okay.
There's 3 seasons.
And do you have to watch Letterkenny in order to get into Shorsey, or?
I didn't, because I don't know a damn thing about Letterkenny. I might go back and watch Letterkenny, and I'm assuming Letterkenny was very popular because it has 12 seasons. I just took a chance on it because I like hockey. The old hockey where they fight and shit talk, and of course it's the underdog story, which all sports movies kind of have, and we all kind of love. The other kind of cool thing about the show is there's actual I don't know who they are per se. It's like I've never heard of them before, but there's actual hockey players that are also actors in the show that make up part of the team. They also have a First Nation. The GM, they're all sisters, and they're First Nation, and they're in a position of power. So the show's getting a lot of praise for having women and First Nation women, especially in positions of strength and power and importance. But if you like gritty comedy,
yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah,
I love hockey comedies myself, big time.
Yeah, they call it a modern day Slapshots, and you
Nice.
kind of see why they have 3 guys like they had in Slapshots, where those 3 guys that came in and just fuck shit up on the ice. They have their own version of that in this, and it's a good time. I'm interested to see where it goes, because the way they ended season 3, it was kind of like, oh, what are they going to do from here, kind of thing. But yeah, I definitely think when season 4 rolls around, I will be in attendance.
Excellent. Very cool. All right. Well, I have one last thing to cover. I read Suicide Squad Kills Arkham Asylum. Turns out this came out a few months ago. I didn't even realize it. It's been sitting in my backpack for a while. And it is the comic book bridge between the Arkham games and the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game. So it starts out right after the last Arkham game, and then you see them rebuilding Arkham into a higher security prison. You see Waller. She has a problem with Batman and Mayor Gordon. And it's them just showing how secure this new prison is, and you meet a bunch of new characters. And obviously you meet your 4 Suicide Squad that are in the game. Another big Batman villain, who's one of my favorite Batman villains, starts talking shit to King Shark while they're standing in line to get, I guess, I don't know, whatever, they're getting led to their cells and stuff like that. Starts talking shit to King Shark, and King Shark bites his head off. So the guy I was looking forward to seeing in the comic doesn't last very long. Don't talk shit to King Shark. It's a good setup to a story. it's just getting into it. It is just issue 1. They just opened the cells for these people, these 4 main villains or heroes of this story, I guess. It's that gray area. It's the Suicide Squad. Anti-heroes, yeah. So I don't think I bought any of the other issues. So that's kind of a disappointment because I like where this ended. And I'd like to keep reading it. So now I'm going to have to go back and hopefully the issues didn't jump up in price. They shouldn't have, but we'll see. It's a 17 plus mature comic, and so I mean, if you're watching or listening to us, you're probably 17 or over anyway. So it's a good time.
You know,
didn't shit on anything.
Part of the games, I still haven't gotten a chance to play any of those Arkham games, and I know.
Really?
Yeah, I know they're supposed to be really good. I've been told.
Yeah, speaking of Jay plays.
I haven't touched any of those, and I didn't end up playing the newer Suicide Squad game either.
That's one of the ones I've started. That's one of the 6 games I have started right now that I have to finish. So I'm having a good time with it. Not as good as the Arkham games. I don't think anybody has said it's as good as the Arkham games, but I'm having a good time with it.
Yeah, I think that game, it was supposed to just be a fun time kind of game.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. And I think if you get on with friends,
well, you know,
it'll be even better.
And most games are, well, for those type of games, yeah, they're kind of designed to be played with friends. You know, just have a conversation. I'm sad. You know, I understand with the file sizes these games are now. You know, it's killed couch co-op.
Right.
Because for the split screen, technically, it's actually running 2 versions of the game at the same time.
Yeah.
And when you have these massive file sizes, it isn't necessarily doable without a lot of issues anyway. But you know, I'm sad about that because you know, I want to play a lot of games with my son, and it's hard to find games that you can do that co-op thing without going online.
Right.
And a lot of games aren't cross-platform, and
which is crazy because now you got to have 2 setups in a household in order to play with somebody that's, you know, not across the country. They're under the same roof as you. But you got to play in separate rooms and not enjoy things together.
Well, I kind of wish I had one more room in my house because I would set it up with 2 flat screens, 2 recliner, you know, leather
just
recliner
next
chairs,
to each other.
And PlayStation, Xbox, PlayStation, Xbox, and you know, have fun with it.
Absolutely.
What I am playing, well, speaking of there's no more couch co-op, I went back to a game. I've never played any game in the series before, and I recently found out that they're making a movie, but I checked out Borderlands 3.
Oh, okay.
It is couch co-op.
Yes.
You know, loot and shoot, which is not generally the kind of game I go in for, though they are fun.
Right.
Because I usually can't really shoot worth shit. But now I was playing that with my kid, and we just kind of got into it. We started a little late, so we didn't get to play for super long. I think maybe we put a couple hours into it, but I'm having a good time, and I'm glad I finally found a game I could play with him, because loot and shoot is, you know, with his age, that's right up his alley, because that's all he's, you know, besides Lego games or besides, you know, that's what his crowd's into. That's what all these games are now. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing more of that. I like how you get to kind of choose a character, and then you can kind of sort of customize your character
a little bit. Yeah,
enough to be like, this is my version of this person.
Right.
I didn't know who to choose. I kind of would like to play a couple, like get another couple games going and trying out the more other characters. I forget her name, but I went with there's a chick. She's a gunner, and her ability, she calls forth this giant mech. And
Oh, really?
yeah, I was like, oh, that sounds kind of like, sounds pretty cool. So I thought I'd try that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're having a good time with it.
Nice. Yeah,
Um,
I've played a bit of that as well. I had a good time. I was never people love those games. I never got to the point of loving it, but I always had a good time with it. It's also campy, just the right amount of like campiness to it as well.
Right.
Even though it's like a desolate wasteland, there's still like humor and everything. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
I get so stuck when I play games. I kind of hyper focus on a game.
Yeah.
So like usually I can only have like 2 games going. One that I'm very invested in, and then one that, I might just be like, oh, I have a few minutes, let me noodle around with this. I'm trying to get out of that, because if I don't, I'm never gonna get through to all these games that I want to get to. So I've been trying to play, even if I don't, finish them or play the hell out of them or anything. I've been trying to play more games. One of the games I checked out. Speaking of, I talked about watching hockey shows. I also like to play hockey video games.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to like to play hockey video games. I put on a newer hockey video game, and I got whooped, man. I was like, oh, maybe not anymore.
A couple of years back, I tried one for the Xbox, and I was like, I was all thumbs. Luckily, it has a choice to go back to like traditional controls, so I could but I didn't get to play that one as much. This one is NHL 2024. It was one of the free games for us PlayStation Plus members.
Oh, okay.
I had fun time with it because I like hockey games. It took me a minute to get a hang of it. I'm not good by any means, but mainly I just like to run around, score a couple goals, and slam into people and get into fights. As far as a story mode goes, it's not bad by any means. I just the 2K basketball games, after I played that, like sports story mode is that kind of takes the cake, because it's you can actually go around in a world and do things. This is just skipped to the next game, and then you have like choices and conversations you can have, and different things, or you can do some training, but you don't actually do any of that like you do in like the 2K game.
Gotcha.
But I had fun, and this is definitely a game I could just throw on, play for a little bit, turn off. Also, I'm still playing GTA online.
Yeah, we discussed that.
Well, I'm still playing it, and I'm still growing. I got to the point where it's very easy for me to make millions of dollars.
Nice.
Because I got so many businesses, and I don't even have time to run them all. I just kind of run around. I do my car customizations. Like, I just spent like $2 million on a bike today, just because I wanted to. Well, actually, I screwed up. I bought the bike.
How is it even still fun if you just like everything comes that easy now?
It's not easy. You have to put in the time. Still.
Yeah.
I just get on and kind of do my daily stuff. Like, there's stuff that only happens once a day. I run around and do that. I do play a little bit in the what I call the real world, where you're not alone, because I have weapons now, and I have armored vehicles now, and I can kind of make my way through that world a little better.
Unreal.
I think it's just fun because I just like to see it, grow. They're still adding stuff all the time. Like they just, even though it's nothing that special, they just added like a pizza shop you can go deliver pizzas for. Like they're
Right.
still, it's still a growing world.
Yeah.
So I think that's a game that I might put on the back burner eventually, but it's something I'll probably still revisit from time to time until GTA 6 kills it.
Nice.
Uh, and the newest game that I started playing, which is not new by any means, is a game that I've loved for all my life,
Yeah.
Zelda,
Oh.
Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
But I love the Zelda series. It's probably the first RPG game I ever played
Yeah.
way back in the day, the gold cartridge.
Oh yeah.
And I was very fortunate to get my hands on a Nintendo Switch recently and started playing Breath of the Wild. I'm very, very new into the game, but I'm already having a great time, and I know it's going to be a vastly different game, but
Yeah.
I just like right off the bat, I was getting like Ocarina of Time vibes, and
I think that's what Steve said as well as when he reviewed it on here.
yeah, that's probably my
Wait,
favorite.
is that the newest one? Is Breath of the Wild the newest one or
No? Tears
no?
of the Kingdom is the
Okay,
newest.
yeah. Breath of the Wild is when the Switch first
That's-
came out.
Breath of the
So
Wild.
that's the one I own.
The previous
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
It's which is a sequel. The Tears of the Kingdom is a sequel, I believe.
Right. Right. Yeah. So I started Breath of the Wild, but that was a few years ago. I don't remember. That was when the Switch first came out. That was one of the first games I had for it.
Yeah, no, I just finally getting into it, but it's interesting with the weapon system in that where everything. Oh, I mean, for now, I don't know later on if you once you get like the Master Sword, that probably would change. But right now, all the weapons break
Right.
after a certain period of time.
Yeah.
So that was new, but there's always something to pick up, which is nice. Or so
Right.
far. I'm still in
Yeah.
that what's considered the beginner's map, where I haven't got my paraglider to leave. So
Okay.
I'm late, still right in the beginning.
That's cool.
But that system is just, I don't know, something I probably should have gotten a long time ago. And I'm very thankful that I have it now because I've already gotten so much use out of it. The other day I had to take my son somewhere, and I didn't want to drive all the way back home because I was only going to have to turn around and come get him.
Yeah.
So what I do? I brought my Switch and played in the car while I waited for him.
Done that. Did plenty of that.
It's been fantastic, and just it stirred up a lot of memories and love for the Zelda series.
Cool. Very cool. And it's nice to know you have a sequel to go into right after that. I mean, some of the highest rated Nintendo games out there, so you can't go wrong with that. Cool.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. There's been a couple other things, but nothing I really feel like it's worth to mention.
All good. That's way more video game talk than we normally get, especially when I'm, packing away my stuff and don't get around to it. So that's cool. Get something different, huh? I sold my Switch. I sold it.
You sold it.
Yeah, I did. I did. Yep.
You could buy a new one.
Nah. I never get around to it. Like I got a ton of use out of that Switch. A ton. I think I played everything I want. I've played everything I wanted to play on it. Like there's not a lot comes out that I'm.
Well, that is true. I mean, there are a lot of their you know,
They're
the
a
reason why they're
console.
still
They're a
around is they have
console
Mario,
behind.
they have
Yeah.
Zelda.
They're a console behind, and like I played all the original stuff that I wanted to play, and then I just started playing. You know, I bought L.A. Noir, which was a PlayStation 3 game that I liked, and I bought that. Like, so I started playing old games that are work on the Switch because, you know, they're so behind. But I mean, it's a nice handheld. But I got my use out of it. I'm good. With that said,
I'm good.
thank you for joining us again, Jay. Check us out at heybuddy.com. That'll lead you everywhere you need to go.
Well,
Till next week.
yeah, see you, stupid data asshole.
What? That's awful.
I just heard that's what you're.
Hey Buddy was brought to you by Steve, Wanda, John, and Sharon. Thank God they